Hello everybody and welcome to part 3 of Crash Bandicoot Insanity Edition. So this is the Lost City. Now as you probably noticed in the top left there is actually no clear gem for this level. So if we go back you can see there's a clear gem for that one. This one is actually the green gem. So you have to do something special for it. Now I'm going to try and get all the boxes because I think that is actually all it requires, but I can't actually remember how to get the colour gems. So we're going to jump right in. Apologies as well, I realised there was some crackling on the last video. The PS4 that I'm recording on was actually downloading something, so I believe that may have affected the sound somehow. So with this level, there's a lot of sort of hidden areas, this being one of them. And obviously, with that gone, you can't jump over, but you just jump back the way you came. So this is the first of the sort of ruin levels. There's 2 in the game. The other one's called Sunset Vista. It's a little bit later on, and they are both quite difficult. So as I said before, this is where the challenge starts to ramp up a little bit. Now you'll notice on these levels, you'll see that there's 2 stagnant bats. If you kill them both, you stop this sort of stream of bats coming through, which is obviously what you want. And you also get some apples for your trouble. Awesome. So with these walls moving the way they do, you have to learn the routine that they go in. So this one's fairly straightforward. So get a checkpoint. Again, it's kind of just a case of making sure that you're looking ahead. So these will drop. Kill the first bat and drop. Now they come pretty rapidly, so don't try and spin the actual stream, because chances are you'll get to the last one and it will actually hit you. So I have no comments for that level of stupidity. So let's have another go. One thing you'll learn in Crash Bandicoot is you are going to die a lot, especially in the later levels, on the basis that some of them, like I said before, they get really hard. But that was all part of the fun. So here you just got a sort of time coming out of here. Grab the lizard and grab him quickly with the checkpoint. Now these guys jump, so the idea is to jump over and try and be quick about moving on. There you go. So these platforms move in and out, it's fairly straightforward. And there we go. And as you can see, it's really easy to just sort of drop off, and with obstacles everywhere like those flame pits over there, that is not a good idea. So there we go. So I'm actually fairly interested, while I'm just sort of doing this section, what your favourite childhood game was. This is easily one of my favourites. The third incarnation of Crash Bandicoot, which is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, is an incredible game, and I think it's probably my favourite childhood game of all time. So yeah, that lizard, you can't actually spin it. I should have remembered that. You actually have to jump on top of it, because you'll just bounce off it, so you need to jump on it like that. The background is hiding some boxes there. That is our third embryo mask, so we can actually go back to the bonus area. Now this one is going to be hard, so just time it right. Now, yeah, so I'm interested to hear what your favourite childhood game was, so if you want to comment below what your favourite childhood game was, and it'd be great to hear your thoughts. Now as you can see, this is going to be a bit of a toughie, so you've got to be really careful with your spins, because obviously one wrong spin and those TNTs will blow you to Kingdom Come. And as you can see, it's really easy to lose your composure when you've got a lot of things going on at once. But you can have another go, if you don't fall down like a dingus. And luckily, as you can see, they don't cost lives. So even though, yes, you lose everything from the bonus, you can go and have another go. And you can keep doing it for as long as is necessary. So, and that's an example of an extended spin that's gone wrong. I have no idea how that happened, but in a game as precise as this, I can imagine it was my fault. Let's have another go. Damn. That's actually really, really tough. And I did it again. I am so sorry. So again, you can see, even though obviously I've played through these games quite a bit, even then I'm still struggling on certain sections. A, because I'm making sloppy mistakes here and there, but they are genuinely tough. And again, the game gets a lot harder than this. So. That's better. I remember the next bit was quite hard as well, so 1, 2, 3, and over. Now don't stand next to Brio because he does do that. When you complete a Brio bonus round, he will implode and it will kill you, so you've got to be really... There's nothing more frustrating than getting through something that hard and then getting exploded at the end. Now, these bridges, when they look like this, they actually move, so you've got to be really quick. Ideally, you want to get to the middle, because that doesn't move. Can we trigger you? Nope, so back, and over. Wonderful. Now obviously, if you stand at the top there, you're going to get hit by the bat, so you have to time about 3 things here. So I'm going to go on this one. There we go. And just like that. Now it can be really easy to get distracted about what's going on, so we'll take the first set of walls first. They should both come out together at some point and come back. There we go. And if you stand here, you're safe. And we're going to do the same with this 3 wall as well. There we go. There we go. So, if you want to get all the boxes, you need to be careful with that gecko, because you won't be able to get to the top there. I call them geckos, I don't know what they actually are. Some sort of frilled dragon, maybe. Again, be careful, because again, if you jump on these, it'll jump you up, and you might get hit by those bats. So, again, this game was kind of designed for kids, but I don't know how any sort of 8-year-old was meant to get through this lot. It's pretty tough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, you've really got to watch your timer on this. That was immensely lucky on my part. Please never ever ask for a walkthrough for that, because yeah, that was entirely fluke and luck based. So again, just missed it. Now don't worry, because the checkpoint will save the fact that you did the bonus, so you don't have to do all that again. And again, on some of the bonus levels later, you gotta be thankful it does. So again, you just want to lightly touch it. And this gecko is worth watching out for, because he's going to jump over to you. And you need to be fairly quick. Again, you want to hit him so you can get those boxes. And I think we've actually got the gem for it. And I believe this should get us the green one. Or not. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see what happens. Oh, I see. So you have to do the whole level without dying and get all the boxes. So we got a very upset Crash there, who's blatantly judging me at this point. So we'll apologise for that later. So as you can see, that level was pretty challenging. They only get harder from here, so... Temple of Ruins is our next one. It's a standard clear gem. And again, a lot of this is down to timing, which makes it fairly difficult. There's only 67 boxes. A lot of the issue with these levels as well is actually perception. It's actually being able to see the distance you need. Because obviously it goes in 4 different directions. Luckily, these levels are actually quite generous when it comes to their Wumpa. As you can see, there's going to be bats coming at you in this as well. Those walls will continue to do that until you pass them. Now the spiders, you can jump on them or you can spin them. I recommend, however, double checking around to see if there's any long jumps, because later on you're going to see that you need to do some really long jumps and you need the spiders to be able to do it. So jump on this platform here. So we're going to time our jump. Again, with these ones, a bit like the ones back in the fortress, they're going to give you a warning flame. But it's best to do best to steer clear of both flames, to be fair. Just wait for that one. And again, you can see it's really difficult to see how far you actually have to jump. It's something you just sort of get a feeling for. So I believe that was actually our first checkpoint. I believe. It was the first one I've been conscious of anyway. So you can see it's quite far into the level, but I may be wrong. So I'm going to jump back, because you can see there's a platform at the back there going up and down. You need to wait till it's down. The floating platform will return. You need to give it a few seconds, it will come back. There we go. So, because obviously if you wait till it's high, you're not going to be able to make it. So this is a clue. There's a lot of boxes over here. This is what I mean when I say, like, there's a lot of sneaky hiding places in this game. And I do not know all of them. But they really do try and test you. Again, how a child is meant to do this back in the day, I do not know. There'd be a lot more skill than most. But again, it promoted exploration, and something I think sometimes in more modern era games is missing. So again, you just got to sort of wait and not rush this. Second checkpoint. So we're doing pretty well for lives here, but don't be mistaken, those 65 lives mean nothing on the basis that we're probably going to lose a lot of them in some of the levels coming up. So again, there's a clue here to move forward. And again, the levels here are quite generous with their lives, but it's for very good reason. So there's the gem, because this is going to get quite busy. So again, the bats won't actually hurt you unless you jump into them, but don't try and spin them, because it's going to... the last bat will usually get you. So that was absolutely perfect. So... Crash removes his gem from his we'll say his back pocket, and we return to the Wumper Islands. Now, this next level is Road to Nowhere, and this is one of the more infamous levels in the game. There's very few enemies, very few indeed, but as you can see, there's only one road, and these light brown planks, they are good to stand on. These ones, they vanish, as you can see, and they don't come back as far as I'm aware, so you've got to be quick. So with the jump spin from the first couple of levels, do that, and you can see these broken ones, they actually fall straight through, so you don't even get a chance to react. So now that you've seen how you die in this level, let's actually get it done. So this level is all about accuracy. And those hogs, you cannot hurt them. However, once you jump over them, they actually stop. So once you're over them, don't worry too much about them. Now this is the only other type of panel. It's an ice panel, so you will slide down it, as you see. So be careful. Now there is an easy way of doing these levels. You can actually jump on the rope on the bridge and walk straight over. However, because of the curvature of the rope, you can actually fall off really easily, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you're going for the relic. If you are going for the relic, by all means give it a go. It may well work out for you. I decided it didn't work out for me, and I preferred doing it the proper way. This hog is going to be a pain. There we go, over and over. And you can see we're already starting to lose lives on levels. And there we go. Yeah, be careful on that last bridge as well, because there's a hole there and you can't really see it. And again, there's another gem path here, so chances are we're not going to get all the boxes on this one. Yet. It's funny because I actually find a lot of these shorter jumps are the harder ones, because you have to sort of like be really careful about how you control Crash. Whereas the longer jumps, you can sort of get a bit longer in the air, so you can actually sort of direct them a little bit better. So there's the bonus. So let's go and do the bonus. Okay, so we saw this earlier in the game actually, so when you do these, do not get stuck between these two panels, on the basis that they will kill you. Now obviously you're going to need to do this, so stand on top of it, watch the trigger go down, and we get bounced up to the air. Fantastic. So, the bonus levels are kind of used to introduce you to new mechanics as well, quite a lot. Not only had 9 boxes, like I said, chances are we're not going to get all the boxes, so no worries there. But now, the turtles are actually really important on these levels because, as you know, we can use them as trampolines. And I did so badly. This is actually one of the more infuriating parts of the level because you can't always get a really good bounce. So what I find is best if you run, hold X, and then jump over like that. You actually get a really long jump there. And you can use Crash's sort of shadow to direct yourself. Crash is probably going to get a bad back again. There we go. I know, Crash, I know. So, I've got a couple more levels for the rest of the island. We're going to finish this island off, and then we're going to come back in another video to do the first half of the third island, because those levels are quite tough and they're quite long. So we're going to split that island up into 2 videos. But this one, I think we can get this finished in 1. So this is going to be very similar to Boulders, but it's going to be a lot tougher. I was actually wrong, there is only 2 levels like this in the game. So obviously this one's going to be the harder one. Awesome. So let's keep going. Okay, these things are going to start moving as well, so you've got to sort of get as long a jump you can so you can actually see where you're going. Again, if you hit one of these things, it's not sort of instant game over. You're not going to get caught up straight away, but it's a good idea to try and avoid as much as you can because that boulder is getting very close now. And there we go. Whew. Nice. 2 lives there. So, let's keep going. Again, the Wumpa will usually guide you a little bit, so you can sort of see where you're meant to be. But levels like this take a bit of practice. I've literally just noticed as well the really overly concerned look on Crash's face. It's absolutely hilarious. Not that we would be concerned if you had a massive boulder chasing you. So again, we've got another gem path here, so we're going to leave the gem for this one until we get to get all the gems if we go that far with the gem. Oh my. Crash, you took a battering there, mate. An absolute battering. So, now, this is probably one of my personal hardest levels in the game. It is very long. It's just hard. So this is very similar to, I think it's called the Lost Ruins or the Lost City. It is very similar, but it is a lot longer and it's a lot harder. So we're going to do our absolute best with it, see what we can't pull out of our hats. So again, the first level usually is all about sort of teaching you the mechanics of the level. So this is obviously moving together, so I'll just avoid that. So we're going to mask there. Again, lots of sneaky hiding places for things like masks. So again, the geckos that we saw, the jumping geckos that we saw in the first level weren't until quite late on. They're quite early in this one. So, and again, we've seen this sort of thing before, where you can be sort of tricked into jumping on things so that they put you in bad positions. So again, not too difficult there. Very generous with lives at this point. So again, this is just really basic timing platform. There we go. Just going to check in that mouth. Yeah, I thought so. Again, very sneaky. It's interesting actually, because I actually played the original Crash Bandicoot not long ago at the actual PS1 version, and it's actually really nice to see how much they've done with it. Again, this is one of my favourite games of all time, and seeing it like this is an absolute pleasure. And they haven't taken anything away from it either. They haven't like dumbed it down. They haven't simplified anything. They've just kept it true to what it is. And I think that's a really good job. So as you can see, that is going to move. So that's sort of introing you into something new. So you're going to have to time that with that platform up there. You don't want to fall off these because there is a fire pillar at the bottom. So again, that's going to move. So this one is solid. So we're just going to wait for it to come around. That was far too close for comfort. So there is a bonus round in this level. Fantastic. So, again, we've got a lot of really difficult jumps here, so take your breathers when you can, is the best advice I can give. Not that I'm any expert at these games, I'm not, far from it. But things like this require timing, and it's best to sit back and just watch it for a minute. So obviously the lower platforms come out before the blocks do. So really you want to wait for them to start coming back out, like that. And then it's just timing. Now, you will get an invincibility here if you are having a few masks, but do not let that put you off. Sometimes invincibility is actually there to, like that, throw you off. Because you tend to rush. And if you rush like that on these sorts of levels, it's not going to end well. So, using things like that against you is actually very, very clever. And again, this was all in the original as well, so this is all from memory. So, it's also very, very slightly speed to crash up a little bit, so obviously his jump is going to be all over the place. And you make mistakes. This level's usually taken about 20 lives off me by now, so I'm actually not doing too badly. But again, it's very easy in these games to get sort of trigger happy and just start jumping for no reason. It's also super easy to become distracted, like the bats, for instance. It's very easy to get distracted by that. So that's that dealt with. Yeah, I guess it's kind of just taking things one at a time. You know, deal with what's present. So in this, you're going to have to jump fairly early on the basis that the platform's moving away from you, for instance. You know, it's little things like that that can really throw off what you're trying to achieve. And if you can see bats going in the distance as well, that's enough to throw anybody off. Now I know there's a box up there, so I'm going to wait for the gecko to come over. Bounce on his head, and over it comes. Super duper. So, it looks like we've got our first Cortex mask. Now again, there's 3 of these in the game, I believe. And I don't think I've ever actually bothered trying to find all 3. So again, we've got the bats. I believe this is the final sort of stretch, so this can get quite tricky. Obviously the bats will hit you if you're above at that point. So you might have to spin a couple of them away as you're jumping back down. Now this you've got to be fast for. I do not know how I survived that. It was a complete fluke, and I'm going to take a breather and recompose. There we go. Sometimes things happen, sometimes you just got to take it. So there's another checkpoint here, so there's probably going to be a fair bit of level left. We've still got another token to go. I may be wrong about those end masks. They might be, there might actually be 3 in the level. It's me trying to rush. So they come out together. Oh, right, you go. So this is how crazy some of the jumps get. You've got to time literally 3 things at once. And that was a complete fluke. If you go back here, by the looks of things, there's going to be another end mask somewhere. There it is. So, Again, I don't think I've ever actually got all the aim masks before. And that's what happens when you do this time of jump. But we do still have all 3 masks, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get back to that point. So that comes out, that goes in, and away we go. Now the checkpoint will save most boxes for you, but it won't save what you got after the checkpoint, so you do have to go back and get those. So even though we've got the mask, we will have to go back and get that box if we want to get the gem, which I believe is actually possible. Let's see if I can... Yes, you can. So this is going to be a Cortex bonus. Now these are rumoured to be even harder, so I'm just going to take this slowly. Okay, so we've got okay, so it's technically quite difficult, so now that's how you get the keys. I always wondered that. So you have to complete the Cortex levels to get the keys. It's good to know. One of the hints that was just up was about using the old school controls, which is actually using the D-pad, which I'm actually using right now. I actually prefer it for games like this, because I find it can be a lot more precise. So I'm guessing we're going to get another bonus round very, very soon, because we've just got that 3rd mask. Yeah, I'm not actually a big fan of using analog controls for this sort of thing, so I tend to use the D-pad. So let's see what this is all about. I want to try and get as much of this fruit extract as possible. Obviously this is going to start a chain reaction, so we need to move fairly quickly. Awesome. So yeah, all the boxes should be possible. I don't think we've seen any gem paths just yet. So more platforming. And again, I know I haven't lost that many lives to this level yet, but like I said, it can get pretty hair-raising. Like that. It can get very tense very quickly. There you go. Just gotta wait for an opening. Oof. I'm sorry, Crash, that must have hurt. But again, it's very easy to panic when you drop like that and you end up going to one of these fire pillars, and it's not nice. So again, just wait for your opening and away you go. So there's another checkpoint. That's our 4th one in this level. They are getting that was fast. They are getting fairly generous with that. Now I think there's a gecko up here. Looking at these, yeah, there he is. So again, get rid of him. I think we missed one box. Oh, yeah, we missed one box, which is absolutely infuriating. But we did get a key, which is awesome. We can always go back and get the gems at the time. And that level, I know it looked like we just sort of sailed through it. Believe me when I say that is one of the hardest levels in the game, as far as I'm concerned anyway. So we're going to do one more boss, and then we're going to call it a day. And this is Koala Kong. Interestingly enough, he doesn't actually appear in any other mainstream Crash game. But he's a very cool boss. So he's this really hulked out koala bear. So he's going to throw these rocks at you, which you can either spin if you're decent at timing, or you can just avoid. Now this one he'll move with, it will actually stay. So you want to spin that back to him. But you want to watch out for those minecarts because they'll act as a shield. So you've got to sort of time it. Obviously you're going to have the added distraction of these TNTs as well. But I found if you stay in the right hand side, it's generally fairly easy to deal with. Also the rocks will fall off eventually, so you've got to be careful there. But I find Koala Kong fairly straightforward. It it's just about not being put off by the TNTs. They're there to make you panic, so try not to panic too much. Again, if you stay on the right hand side, generally I find they don't actually come over that way. So one more hit should be fairly sufficient. Again, if you're decent at timing, this level isn't too bad. There we go. Some of these new animations are fantastic. Cool, so that wasn't too bad after all. I find the bosses are actually a little bit of comic relief after everything that's, all the trauma we've been through for the previous levels. But we're on the third island now, so we're absolutely storming through. And the next level is Heavy Machinery. Now this is, again, the levels sort of start to ramp up again. So we're going to take this island bit by bit, and hopefully finish the game within the next 2 or 3 videos. So again, I hope you've enjoyed it, and it's been good fun playing through Crash Bandicoot again, and we've got a fair bit to go, so look out for the next part, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now, have a good day.